Hello everyone, and thank you all for attending the Mint UK 2023 conference this year. My name is Marriott and I am a specialist occupational therapist working for the Mint Academy and Hobbs Rehabilitation. The Mint Academy offers a number of bespoke services to support companies in a variety of ways, including clinical consultations for device or game development, support with grant applications, collaboration in research design, and completion of research protocols. In this conference presentation, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one of our recent Mint collaborations with a startup company called NeuroVirt. NeuroVirt was founded by Dr. E.V. Gregoriou. During her PhD in clinical and movement neurosciences at UCL, she worked on optimizing the application of brain stimulation devices for post-stroke rehabilitation, and as a result gained greater insight into stroke survivors' rehabilitation journeys. NeuroVirt aims to use immersive virtual reality technology to gamify the rehabilitation process of upper limb recovery and quantify this recovery. When using NeuroVirt, stroke survivors perform their rehabilitation exercises by playing games immersed in beautiful environments, which makes the process fun and effortless. Because of its design and gamification, patients can access the motivation to be able to meet the required intensity and duration of therapy. This can happen in both a clinic and a home environment. Therapists can prescribe therapy dose and intensity using the NeuroVirt web application to individualize and monitor their patients' progress through remote access. When NeuroVirt approached Mint, they had created a functional prototype consisting of 4 rehabilitation games. After winning the SBRI Stroke and Technology Grant, they selected Hobbs Rehabilitation as their clinical partners for ongoing development and research together with the NHS and the Stroke Association. The aim of this collaboration was to co-design the technology and test the usability, tolerability, and acceptability of the NeuroVirt device from clinicians and 40 stroke survivors. A designated Mint team was created to work with NeuroVirt, containing a speech and language therapist, physiotherapist, and occupational therapist. This stage of the collaboration included patient screening and recruitment based on eligibility criteria that we identified on both a clinical and technological standpoint, discussions around clinical needs that the device could and should address, technology design feedback, support by specialist clinicians during the trial, data collection, and clinical support for a 6-week single-person case study. The results from the initial SBRI Phase 1 trial showed that the device had excellent usability, scoring 81.5 on the standard system usability scale. All participants were able to tolerate the device, with only 18% of patients reporting fatigue, which is expected post-stroke and post-exercise. And patients rated the games 6 out of 7 for fun and engaging. 94% of patients reported that they would like to incorporate NeuroVirt into their rehabilitation programs, and therapists observed the potential for home and clinic use, with improved motivation and rehabilitation intensity. In the case study, a single stroke survivor was recruited for a 6-week intensive program of NeuroVirt home use. He had 6 weeks of standard care, which consisted of 2 physio and OT sessions a week, plus his usual self-care and stretching. And this was followed by 6 weeks of NeuroVirt, which equated to 2 hours a day, 6 days a week using the device, plus his standard care. Intermittent clinical support was provided and outcome measures were completed fortnightly. This case study resulted in 100% adherence to the programme, with 29% greater intrinsic motivation inventory scores. This programme offered a more than 200% increase in therapy dosage, and the individual achieved a 65% improvement in comparative grip strength, also making improvements in the Fugl-Meyer and the stroke impact scale. The conclusion of these trials shows that NeuroVirt systems is a safe and enjoyable solution for stroke survivors' rehabilitation, and the case study suggests that NeuroVirt's potential for clinical efficacy as part of an intensive programme. So what's next? The collaboration between NeuroVirt and Hobbs continues with some more exciting projects currently underway. Hobbs, NeuroVirt and the University of East Anglia are collaborating on further research studies as part of 2 further grants received. Hobbs and NeuroVirt are currently running a trial to review the NeuroVirt with aphasic stroke survivors to ensure that the device is accessible by patients with communication disorders following stroke. Next, Hobbs will be recruiting patients into a trial to review and evaluate patients' abilities to set up and use the device at home with remote support from therapists. This study will use 12 stroke survivors who have not previously encountered the NeuroVirt, and they will use the device for 6 weeks with a weekly call from the therapist for support, problem solving, and to make any required changes to the programme. Following this, Hobbs Rehabilitation will then be recruiting a large number of patients for a feasibility study and looking at clinical outcomes. And Hobbs has completed clinical consultations to assist with game development, focusing on fine finger movements and hand shaping for dexterity. In short, MINT offers opportunities for engineers to work alongside experienced clinicians at the research and design stage to ensure that the products they are designing are relevant, effective, and end-user driven. The benefits of this collaborative approach through MINT is that products made are relevant to the patient, increasing engagement and motivation during their rehab process, and can achieve enhanced outcomes due to more opportunities for increased dosage and repetition, and also that the devices are used and supported by clinicians in their daily practice. Personally, as an occupational therapist working in such an exciting field, it gives me the opportunity to influence neurotechnology in a responsive and timely way, supporting and problem solving in real time and sharing my clinical expertise to ensure that not just the physical neurological deficits are considered when creating a virtual environment and for gamification. Thank you very much for listening to this talk, and we look forward to joining you in some more MINT activities in the future.